that ostia. Then that let him be anathema, be cast. So now let us look at these canon laws of the Roman Catholics briefly. Next time we'll go deeper into the word anathema. What does anathema mean? It is said one that is cursed. If you don't believe that that bread turns into the body of Christ and that wine becomes real blood, then you should be cursed. That's what it's stating. So this little wafer used in Mass, that one there, is a symbol of Baal. It's a symbol of Baal. And we have brought it also in the Pentecostal church. We use it and we put it on top of that little one there for convenience. That's what they say. But what convenience are we doing here? Why don't we put unleavened bread there? Because they say, do this as often as you do it. In what? In remembrance of me. So what happens here is, starting with the little wafer, this one, the whole in the communion mass, and the wine are Jesus and contains his whole divinity. Now we are told in the Bible that Jesus is currently seated at the right hand of God the Father. How does he come into this wafer and this blood every time there is Mass? We are also told that he is very God and as such has this very nature of God, isn't it, in the Bible? And with his infinite and omnipresence, he cannot be limited into this little tiny wafer. And most certainly not to something made with human hands. Lastly, we are strictly forbidden from worshipping any image or idol or from bowing down to them. That's the first commandment. So when we read the Canon 6 here, it says that the Catholic people are to worship and adore this wafer and bow down to it. This thing, it is to be worshipped. But what did the Lord said in Exodus 20:45? Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or in the earth beneath, or in the waters underneath. Thou shalt not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God. And I will utter my judgment against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me. This is Jeremiah 1:16. Who have forsaken me and have burnt incense unto other gods and worship the works of their own hands. What do we see in churches? Incense. How do they, you see them shaking that thing.
That thing.
Yeah, shaking it. They shake it. And they took the steam up everywhere. He hates it. Even in Isaiah 1:12 he says, I hate your burning of incense. I hate your festivals. When you put up your hands, I will not listen to you.
Even their commandments, they removed that.
Yeah, they did. And we're going to see which one they remove next time we're here. We're going to see everything that has been distorted in that. Now, this other little thing you see here, this is what he's putting. It's the symbol of the sun. And this is what is on the altar. They call it the tabernacle. There's a tabernacle where they keep the ostia. And when you see people go, they go and kneel before it. That's a tabernacle there. So they go down and kneel, and these are two nuns who go very quickly because they are allowed to go near. But you go and kneel down and they bring it to you here. Now this is where they think this point here is called the host. That's where they put their Jesus. So Jesus is in that shrine there. And when you go, because you don't ask questions, we are not allowed to ask any question. But when you look deeper into this image, you are going to see the sun in that image. Have you seen the sun there on the top? The ostia is shining like a sun there.
And the visuals. What are those in the
Exactly. It is the symbol of the sun worship. And we are not shown all these things. We just follow sheepishly. I had a big one of it because you could see it properly. But this is what is being taught to us, to worship this little thing. And that's why even the crosses they used to give us to wear have Christ on it. And when you look at the stick of the Pope, the cross is even bent. And he's still there. They are putting him back on that cross. All the time. They say he has never left the cross. So he did nothing on the cross. And we just put them here and we think we are being religious, moving with these things. It is so sad. So when we go into these things, we should know that they are trying to do something that is out of what the Lord wants us to do. You cannot worship and bow down to a wafer, just a wafer. So the entire practice is forbidden by God. And now anytime a person worships an idol such as the Catholic wafer, he's actually worshipping a demon or Satan. And the scriptures have told us, as I conclude, in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 19 to 20, it says, "What say I then," this is Paul, "that the idol is anything, or that which is offered in sacrifice to idols is anything? But I say that the thing which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with the devils." Halal meat we're eating. We're going to see in the Muslim how they kill this animal. They face it to Mecca, and they pray and they chant things, and they dedicate this thing to devil. Now you buy it everywhere, halal. You don't even sanctify that meat. You can't eat at the table of the Lord and also eat at the table of demons. We have to be careful. There's so many things. We don't have a lot of time, but let's watch a little bit of paganism. You're going to see a few symbols there as we close the meeting. That's a symbol of this, the moon, the worship of the moon. And you see it started from Sumeria, that is Babylon, where these symbols are coming from. Where do we see them now? On religious symbols of Islam. That's the all-seeing eye our minister was talking about, that we are under him. The whole thing is all worship of the sun. You see the disc again of the moon, but it's actually the womb of a woman. And that is the monstrance of the Catholic, where they put the hostia. There is a symbol of the sun on that monstrance, which is a shrine, and we don't even know that it's a shrine.